everyone, I'm Loki from the Dyspraxia system, and today I want to talk about what dyspraxia is, and this will probably be split over multiple videos. I don't know how many, because there are a lot of symptoms that can come with dyspraxia. And that's because it actually overlaps, or can overlap, with a lot of different disorders, as you can see on this picture that I'll show here. Dyspraxia is also known as developmental coordination disorder. That's why that's in the middle there. But as you can see, it can overlap with ODD, specific learning difficulties, autism, anxiety, Tourette's, OCD, developmental coordination disorder. I don't know why that's in there. Again, because it's the same thing. Alright. Gifted, sensory integration disorder, auditory processing, depression, and ADHD. I don't know why that's the case. People don't know why dyspraxia is even formed. It's formed by birth, and they think it has something to do with the nerve system, I believe, but they're not entirely sure. They don't even know if you can give it to your children or not. They really don't know, because there's not a lot of research that is done in this area, even though I think approximately 10% of the population has this. So, that's quite a lot of people, but almost no one knows it. There are a lot of less common disorders that people have known more about, like that's more common knowledge, than this, which is annoying. Well, I mean, it's good that the other disorders are well known, but it's annoying that people don't know about this one, because then every time I have to explain what it is, and there are so many parts that just go back to the basic, but that doesn't cover all of it. And then if I say that, for example, some symptoms that would be seen as autism symptoms, for example, that is because of my dyspraxia, people won't believe me. I've had this happen, and it's annoying. But yeah, dyspraxia is in the basic coordination disorder, as it is said in the name developmental coordination disorder. But it affects your It affects your motor skills, so your fine coordination, or fine motor skills, and your, gross? The other motor skills. I know the Dutch name for it. I think it's gross motor skills. But it's just motor skills in general, actually. It takes you a long time to... It can take you a long time to start to walk. You can learn to ride a bike with difficulty, but you might never be able to ride a bike. Riding is difficult. Reading can be difficult. Stuff like that. When I get into the symptoms, I'll get more into detail about it. But yeah, just your coordination is just fucked up. Doesn't exist some of the time. I drop a lot of stuff all the time. Bump into stuff all the time. And this varies from day to day. Like, with every disorder, everyone thinks like the symptoms are set in stone, and they never fluctuate. So every day the symptoms will be as worse as the next day and the day after that, and so on and so on. But that's not correct for, I don't think, not any disorder. It fluctuates. Sometimes you have good days where the symptoms don't really show, and other times you have really bad days where the symptoms show a lot. So yeah, that also makes it difficult. But before I get into all the 53 symptoms that can come with the dyspraxia, I'll first get into the diagnostic criteria that are set in the DSM-5. So what is really the basics of the disorder, which is the only part that they recognize in my country, actually. It's really annoying, because in Belgium and in the UK, they do recognize all the other symptoms, maybe in other countries too, but in mine they don't. And I also have memory problems because of dyspraxia, but they didn't acknowledge that at the center that I got help for dyspraxia, so didn't really work. But yeah, the diagnostic criteria. The DSM-5 classifies dyspraxia as a discrete motor disorder under the broader heading of neurodevelopmental disorders. The specific criteria are, first of all, acquisition and execution of coordinated motor skills are below what would be expected at a given chronological age and opportunity for skill learning and use. Difficulties are manifested as clumsiness, for example, dropping or bumping into objects, and as slowness and inaccuracy of performance of motor skills, for example, catching an object, using scissors, handwriting, riding a bike, or participating in sports. So as I said, your coordination is just, it exists, but not much. I had to really practice throwing and catching stuff until, I had to practice it more than everyone, but I was still doing that when I was 9 or 10. I still bump into stuff, still drop stuff a lot. Still can't cut right. Like straight, I mean. Do I have something that I cut here somewhere close by? I don't think I do. But it's most of the time it's really messy. If I want to cut it like in a straight line, I really have to concentrate, and even then I will fuck up with it. My handwriting has improved a lot, but there was a time in primary school where I was advised to stop writing because the way I wrote actually was hurtful for my hand. It was not good. So yeah, I can ride a bike, and I've played a lot of sports, which is unusual. Most of, like, the center that I got diagnosed at and was helping me afterwards, but they play a lot of sports. That's unusual. That's not how it's supposed to be. People with dyspraxia should hate playing sports, which I don't get. Why should you hate playing sports? Sure, you're not good at it. You won't be as good as someone else who has been playing it for the same amount of time as you have. You might even be worse than someone who has played for 2 years while you have played for 10 years. But should that be what it's about? No, it should be about having fun. So yeah, I played like 4 or 5 sports, and I'm still doing one, although I can't do that right now because of the quarantine. But yeah, now the second criteria is the motor skills deficit significantly or persistently interferes with activities of daily living appropriate to the chronic age. For example, self-care and self-maintenance, and impacts academic, school productivity, pre-vocational and vocational activities, leisure, and play. So you might notice, you'll notice when I actually wash my hair, but I haven't washed my hair in about 2 weeks. So that's where the self-care, self-maintenance comes in. I also have trouble brushing my teeth. But, like, everyone always says, can't you feel it? Can't you feel that you're dirty? But I can't. I legit can't feel that my hair is unwashed. Except for when I touch it. Because I know it feels different from when it's freshly washed. But that's the only difference. So, showering and brushing my teeth and stuff just becomes a task that's energy draining because it requires a lot of coordination. You have to balance right. You have to, there's a lot that comes in that you don't really think about if you're, if you have right coordination, unlike me. So yeah, it's just a task for me, and I'm like, but I don't have the energy for it right now, or I don't want to do it right now because it's so energy draining and it's so annoying and stuff like that. So that's why I tend not to do it unless it's actually needed, because I have to look good for something, or I'm like, oh, it's been a week, I should really do it. But yeah, people don't get that. And I know it's unhygienic, but I'm almost never sick, so why should it matter then? But yeah, third symptom is the onset of symptoms is in the early developmental period. So like I said, this is a disorder that you have since birth. So of course, the symptoms and the signs should already be there from birth. Now, some do crawl and maybe learn to walk like normal, but still there should be signs and symptoms in early developmental periods. I have pretty severe dyspraxia, as you'll find out when I list all these symptoms that can come with it, if I have it or not. But yeah, the fourth symptom or criteria is the motor skills deficit cannot be better explained by intellectual disability or visual impairment and are not attributable to a neurologic condition affecting movement. For example, cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, or a degenerative disorder. So, as I've said in my previous video on OECD 1B, of course, you shouldn't be sure that it's this and that it can't be anything else, because symptoms are different between different disorders, and the help that you need is different between different disorders. Some overlaps, of course, because the symptoms can overlap, or the same kind of helps, but then in a different way. But still, you should make sure that it's actually this and not another disorder. So yeah, that's of course. One thing that you might not know that comes with coordination. That is one of the symptoms on the long symptom list, is speech and being able to talk. I had a lot of help, and I still can't do it right with some things, with learning how to talk. There was a period in my life that I literally just didn't say a thing and would only communicate through looking at people and pointing at stuff. And somehow that worked. I just could project my thoughts to the other person, I guess. But it worked. But yeah, I did get a lot of help. And now I still can't say certain things, right? Like the way we say psychology in Dutch, still have difficulty with that. It's like psychologie, but like the first few letters, the ps, I can't do that right. Most of the time, I really have to think, oh right, I have to say it like that. But yeah, if you ever hear me mispronounce stuff, it's probably because of that, and I probably know that I'm saying it wrong, so you don't have to tell me that I'm saying it wrong and that it should actually be said another way. I know I have that with certain words, and then if people correct me, it's really annoying. But yeah, let's see. There are 53 symptoms, but should probably do that in the next video, because this is already 60 minutes long. Now I don't know if I actually can fit it all in the next video, but I could also just make that a little bit longer one. But yeah, I think I've covered the basics of dyspraxia, like the core basics. So yeah. Their coordination comes with a lot that you wouldn't expect. Legit, there's so much where you need coordination. Even simply doing this is coordination. Simply blinking your eyes is coordination. I can only wink with my left eye, and then even you can see that my right eye is closing a bit too. Can't do it with my right eye. So, stuff like that is also coordination. So if your coordination is fucked up, you can see how annoying that is. But if you really want to know how annoying it can be and how annoying it is, check out my next video that will be going up next week on Wednesday, where I go through all of the symptoms, all 53 of the symptoms that can come with dyspraxia. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this here for now. I hope to see you all in the next video. Subscribe if you want to learn more. If you want to learn more about dyspraxia and OSDD1B and topics related to that. Like the video if you thought it was informational. Comment down below if you have any questions about this or anything like that. I have a Twitter account where you can follow me and the whole system on. Well, only 4 of us use that Twitter, so the others aren't allowed. But yeah, I hope to see you all next week. Bye.